There we go. Okay, I think I have everything all laid out here. Let's see here. Okay. Get that out of the way. Go over here. Let's see, I have that, I have this. I think I have everything all set to go. Okay, so I am going to get started. Well, hello everybody! This is Edward18, back again after a few weeks. Had to take a break from the streaming stuff because Mom came to visit. And it was nice that we are back. Back to doing what I am supposed to be doing. Got some nice Sonic 3D Blast remix music going in the background. Yeah, if you will notice, we are now on to colored pages for the comic instead of just black and white ones. Hello, Wiggle Boy, how are you doing? I'm just getting started on page 68 of the latest comic here. You are just in time to see the workings of on the editing process on the computer. Obviously, I do these physically first in, like, watercolor and ink. But then you scan them in and start editing them here. Takes about, well, normally for the black and white pages it takes like 4 to 5 hours usually. Don't know about how fast or slow the editing will be for the colored pages. Based on the last two I did, it should go pretty steadily. You got anything going on in your life right now, Wiggle Boy? I just got done having Mom visit. It took a couple of weeks, which slowed down the progress of everything I create, but it was nice to see her. Right now we have the, well, I guess I don't need to call him the Claw anymore, because it has now been revealed who this character is. But, this is the guy that was calling himself the Claw throughout the tournament, the whole comic. But now that his cloak and hat are gone, it's much more obvious who it is. Oh well, I hope your career building is going alright. Yeah, the most I usually do when it comes to a career with creating is Just the usual commission type stuff. But after I get done making this issue of the comic, I plan to go back and start remaking the first few comics of the series. As I'm remaking those, I intend to publish them. And then, hopefully, I will make billions of dollars and get the arcade cabinets of my dreams. Yeah, I can usually get, if I'm like really trying, I can get like 1.5 to 2 comics done in a year. But it takes a while to do if you have like other jobs alongside it. If I were just doing this, it'd go pretty quick, I'd imagine. But always gotta keep the commissions going, and then whatever other job you have on top of that. For me, that used to be factory work, which was very, very boring. Yeah, this, what I'm doing here on the computer is the editing is... When I do it physically in, like, real life, I do not fill in the black areas on the page anymore. So all the blacks I handle filling in on the computer. That's usually what the editing videos I make of this are. Although there have been a couple where I have shown the creation of the physical version on stream. Oh, I would love to see my comics animated. I do hope that is something that happens at some point. Although they would probably have to be censored if they were on kids' television, with some of the stuff that goes on in them. Hello, Handgun, how are you doing today? I saw you and Masasa in the Discord talking about the Final Fantasy stuff there. Oh, and Wiggle Boy, if you ever wish, there is a link to the Discord in the description of the video. People just kinda come along and hang out and show their artwork there and stuff. Yeah, I've been working on these comics for probably about 12 years now, I'd say. I used to say it's been like a decade, but by this point it's been more than a decade I've been doing these. Oh, I don't know about banning Masasa Handgun. I was able to save you guys from her clutches the other day, if you remember. As long as we can keep that in hand, I'm pretty sure everything'll be okay. I would have thought that you'd have enjoyed some Final Fantasy talk with her. There we go, music's starting back up. But yes, this is the Claw. He is, he hasn't shown, like, it hasn't shown him talking yet, but he is going to talk on this page. You just don't see his mouth because it's off screen. Well, I'm pretty sure we can manage something against her. Genova is just basically a magical version of the Thing. And we are all creators. We are somewhat on equal footing with her, I'd say. With Masasa, not Genova, because that's a completely different universe. Oh, right. I messed up here. This is I was working on this the other day, like yesterday when I went up to the bookstore, and I didn't realize I initially drew Doko's goggles up on his head when they're supposed to be down over his eyes, so that's like why there's two pairs of goggles in some of these pictures. Yeah, he rarely has them down over his eyes, so when they do go down, I need to always remind myself of that. But yeah, obviously the Claw is Claw Kid. That's that I'm not sure. I don't intend for everybody to realize that if they're like still questioning, like, well, it could be a descendant of him or something, but if you're watching this video, he's Claw Kid. So there is all of that out of the way, and it's no more suspicions there. As to how Claw Kid is here in this time period, that still has yet to be, like, talked about. But we shall maybe see more about that later on. Oh, Doko is just fine, usually, with the idea of other people wearing his goggles handgun. But, you don't want to do that, because Stacy and Doko, their goggles are specifically geared towards their bodies. They are designed to link up to their brains. That is, the goggles feed them information when they have them on. If you put Doko's goggles on yourself, it will feed into your brain, and it will realize it's not Doko and knock you out. You will go unconscious. So you don't want to do that. But Doko himself is probably fine with the idea of people wearing his goggles. He does not understand them at all. He doesn't question them at all. They're just his goggles, like how his suit is not really like other clothes. If his suit gets cut, it will heal over time. Like, it's sort of like a second skin, kind of. Although it can get washed in the washing machine. Yeah, it's, normally with Doko and Stacy, they will wear their clothes in the shower. Well, their suits in the shower. That will just act as, like, a second skin being washed. They're, like, this vest here that he wears, that's just normal clothing that he wears over the outfit. But the undersuit that you always see him in, the blue and black, that is his, well, I guess he'd just call it clothing. But yeah, it's basically kind of a second skin type of thing. There's a lot of things in the comic world that are not like stuff that would be in our world. Some of it has ties to things that happened back in our time period, but a lot of it is science fiction type of things that will either get explained later on or have implications as to why they are the way they are. We are only on Comic 14, so there is so much more to come. Dum, bum, bum. Dum, bum. Oh, well, thank you, Wiggle Boy. I would appreciate the promotion. I did originally design these comics, like, the idea for them back in high school as ideas for a game. It was... I had no idea how to make a game, but all of my creations that are my own usually started out as ideas for video games. These comics, Dreamscape, or... well, yeah, it's Dreamscape, but that's too long of a name to put in the titles on DeviantArt, usually. So I just, like, refer to it as Doko's comics for those that don't see the title pages. But Dreamscape here, this comic series, started out as an idea for 3D platformers, is what it was going to be. And Doko's goggles here flip down over his eyes like his brain commands them to. He doesn't instinctively do that. Well, he does instinctively. He doesn't consciously make the decision to do that. Just sort of happens. But in the game version, the goggles would have glowed different colors depending on the energy that Doko is using in gameplay. That is how the goggles originally were intended to function gameplay-wise. So, I guess that's a little insight into the early concept ideas for the series. Yeah, just give it a few more years and you'll eventually be on Discord and all that stuff, Wiggle Boy. Pretty sure most of my stuff on YouTube is just fine for most ages. There is some cursing sometimes, but I wouldn't say it's anything too horrendous. And all my stuff on DeviantArt is fine to look at, because that has child safety protection on the pictures that should not be seen by children, so there is nothing that'll, like, scar anyone or anything there. Unless they're of age, and then they can see those pictures. I guess if you do want to see more stuff, just follow this link that I will write right here. warahi.deviantart.com/gallery. And that will take you straight to everything you'll ever want to see of me. Oh, hello, G-Star. I am happy you have been enjoying Pikmin 4. I myself do not have it, but I'm assuming you are making your way pretty nicely through the game. It was fun going back and playing Pikmin 1 and 2 the other month for, like, the streams I was doing. Oh, well, we all have our fears, Wiggle Boy. Not really sure... Not sure what my biggest fear would be. The most scared I probably ever was either the old Tails doll curse or that toy that came to life when I was little. That was the most harrowing experience for me. Just stare at it, and suddenly it turns on and starts walking at you. No, I have no idea how to use AI to color things. I know more people are doing it now, though. The thing I always like is when people use that AI stuff for, like, making, like, a Doofenshmirtz version of a song or something, and, like, creating artificial voices from, like, cartoon or video game characters to make videos out of. That's always hilarious. Like, let's see, it was Waluigi, and he was singing... what was he singing? I can't remember right now, but it was hilarious. It makes me want to animate those characters, like, on stage and stuff. I have thought about animating some of those before, but with what all I do, that's gonna be on the back burner for a while. Oh, Duck. I will keep that AI in mind, Wiggle Boy. Oh, Duck. The Duck. Yeah, I'm pretty well, I never played Pikmin 3 G-Star, but as far as I remember, only Pikmin 1 had the amount of days, like, restricted. Because once it got to Pikmin 2, you didn't have to worry anymore about the whole 30-day thing. Yeah, lately I got some of the audio of the Party Crashers that play Mario Party, and I'm thinking of maybe animating, like, just sort of cartoon versions of them in conversation in my spare time. That's sort of what the Invader Zim animation I did started as, was just doing that in my spare time to have something to work on. I have an Xbox One that I have almost never used. I don't really have much in the way of modern systems, though my brother gave me his Wii U before I left Iowa. Has some games on there. I did play a few games last month. If you check back through the streams, you can see me playing Mega Man Zero and Pikmin. And that was on the computer, though, so I didn't need a system to run those ones. I just wish they'd make more Rayman, is all. One thing that annoyed me was back when Rayman Origins came out, Ubisoft, they kept talking and had, like, videos and stuff about the creation of Rayman Origins, and they kept saying that once we finish this game and release it, we will release the UbiArt engine, which is the engine they use to create the game, for free, is what they said. They'd release it for free for anyone to make games with using the UbiArt engine. And I was waiting for that, because that was one thing I intended to use to try and see if I could make Xeno Hunter. But it never came out. I'm still waiting, and I know it's not gonna happen. But at least Rayman Origins is good. Oh, yeah. Rayman did get a show, Wiggle Boy, and it was very weird. Oh, well. That, I don't know if I would trust having Pikmin as pets, G-Star, with how easily they can get killed. I know it's out of your control with a dream, but they always seem like pretty easy to dispose of critters. Oh, I had the special edition of Monkey Island on, I think, the PlayStation 3? Monkey Island is always a fun series. I can't remember the name of the guy now, but I always liked how the salesman... I should remember who he is, but, how his pattern was, like, animated so that, like, his clothes would move, but the pattern would not. It would, like, stay in the same place while his clothes moved around. That was always, like, the most jarringly hilarious feature to him. Well, we've been getting some more rain over where I'm at lately, Wiggle Boy. With how the climate's been going, it's gotten all wonky all over the world, so rain happens a bit more frequently at times than it used to. Rain is always a nice, soothing sound. I rarely ever have the opportunity to go through a book or anything, but I do like having, like, a comic or manga with me, just sitting there listening to the rain while at night, maybe a cup of tea on the side. I know the, trying to remember. Well, now I've completely lost my train of thought. It was something to do with rain, but it'll probably come back to me. It was always kinda cool to me how they did, Perfect Chaos in Sonic Adventure. How everything just starts raining all of a sudden in Station Square before he emerges. It kinda lends itself back to the Great Flood. I don't know if it's the intent, but it felt to me like, Perfect Chaos, his first attack like 4,000 years before Sonic starts. Feels like that might have been implied to have been what caused the Great Flood in ancient times. It might not be, but that's what it felt like it could be when I thought about it. Oh yes, Team Fortress. That is the game that anyone can play and enjoy. Sniping's a good job, mate. I still remember when when, like, Meet the Heavy and Meet the Scout and all that stuff came out for that game. That was, like, on early YouTube, there were so many people playing Team Fortress 2. There's still people that do, but that was back when it was like everyone was on there. Now, to be fair, Sonic has always had a bit of an air of ancient mysticism to it. Even, like, Angel Islands, well, even like Marble Zone in the very first Sonic game, that's obviously ruins on South Island, but you don't never really learn about that civilization, it's just kinda there. Angel Island is where they start going crazy with the ruins and ancient stuff, and then the adventure games extrapolate on that with the Ancient Echidnas, and Adventure 2 goes into the Immortality Research Project with Shadow, and everything on that obviously being based on the Ancient Echidna studies that Gerald did. Yeah, it's always been a series of, like, sci-fi and magic. Although these days, it's not really all that complex. They kind of boil it down to the most basic thing, usually. Other than Sonic Frontiers, that actually got back into the backstory a bit at times. Oh, well, at least you still got Little Pet Shop stuff. G-Star. I don't think I don't think I've broken a bone. I can't say that for sure, because I've been through some very painful stuff before, but I've been through things I should have gone to the doctor for, injury-wise. But as far as I know, I've never broken a bone. My whole thing right now is just the body pains I have. Those get infuriating to deal with. Doko here will certainly go through quite a bit of stuff physically before his series is over. He will probably break a few bones throughout the comics. Yeah, this comic series has all sorts of things that kids, well, American kids, probably would not be allowed to see, like, ratings-wise or standards and practice-wise. If you've seen Dragon Ball, it shouldn't be anything, like, too up there in terms of what you have and haven't seen. But when it comes to American kids shows, yeah, the violence and sexual implications at parts is not stuff that would be shown on TV, unless it's Adult Swim. What I always planned is, like, if there was an animated version of these comics, to have an uncensored version for the nighttime stuff, like Adult Swim type of programming, and then make a censored version for, like, airing while it's, like, kids are awake and stuff. Okay, move over to here. Move over to here. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's running alright. Sorry, I'm just checking some of the systems on here. Yeah, that's typical corporate type stuff, Wiggle Boy. You kinda get used to it as the decades go on, unfortunately. Back when Back when the GameCube and stuff was happening, Microsoft sorta did that with Rareware. Rareware had always made, like, top-of-the-line, the best video games ever for, like, Nintendo. And then Nintendo sold them to Microsoft, and Microsoft just sorta got rid of everybody, and just wanted the name of Rareware, which has been just kind of a bad feeling ever since. Oh, if you are asking me, then yes, I know the Neverhood stuff, G-Star. I don't know, like, all the stuff on the Wall of History or whatever by heart, but I do know the game. Oh no, I can't remember that intricately. If I remember right, I think Armacrog is implied to be in the same universe as Neverhood. Yeah, when it comes to toy companies, Wiggle Boy, it's, they're usually, unless you're, like, in Japan and stuff, they're usually not the most pleasant companies to deal with. They kind of ruined the animation industry in America throughout the 80s. Just utterly destroyed that. I should get another tune. Let's go for another Sonic. I do hope this music is loud enough for people to hear. I'm pretty sure it is. That I don't have, like, the YouTube video of my stream up, so I can't say for sure. Bum bum bada bum 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 bum. Yeah ta ta ta. Let's see. Shift it over. There we go. Oh, is the Wiggle still going, Wiggle Boy? I had not heard that name or that property in years. Yeah, this was always my favorite space tune for Sonic. Oh, that's weird. I've always just only known about the 4 Wiggles. But as seasons go on, changes will happen. The first time I really saw that type of, like, changes through, like, the progression of time in a show would be Dragon Ball. It was like Goku actually grew up and stuff, and that was something I was not even a thought that had crossed my mind. I just knew him as this boy with a tail, and then all of a sudden, after he beats Piccolo, he's like, oh, well, we're older now. That was really weird to me. The other show back then that, I had that kind of experience with was Reboot. How, Season 3 hits, and everything just gets so much more dire and dangerous. And then Enzo gets his eye cut out, and he comes back as, like, an adult and everything, and that got really crazy in that show. Oh, the moon is always a nice track in DuckTales. I was so surprised when they started using like a remix of that theme in the newer DuckTales cartoon. Yeah, anime openings they can be pretty spectacular. Every country always seems to like to give their own opening for a show. I grew up with the Japanese opening for Dragon Ball, because that's how I saw the show, was the Japanese tapes my dad had. Yeah, and then of course there is the wonderful pirate rap for One Piece. So magical. And then if you get Transformers in Japan, they have like the most amazing openings ever. For like no reason. And then in America, it's like, it's the openings everyone all knows, and they're fine, but it's always just Transformers, robots in disguise, like every time. Oh, 4Kids. Yeah, they were absolute legends in the dubbing industry. All of their phobias to English signs and taking out any words they can, removing any implications of any form of violence or sexuality. Yeah. One of my scenes that I always wish they had kept unchanged, it's in there, but it's changed, is when Eggman goes to the bar in Sonic X. That's always just such a awesome scene. Personally, I would say I probably enjoyed the Sonic Boom cartoon more than I liked Sonic X. Sonic X, like, it's the only show that, like, actually tries to do the game's story, although they mess it up. But, that's the only one that tries to do it, but at the same time, Sonic X has such garbage animation a lot of the times, and it is, it's just not... It's one of the weaker Sonic cartoons, I would say. It's fine, but that's about it. Sonic Boom is hilarious, though. The show, not the game. The game can burn in hell. The show I will watch any day of the week. Oh, you are still continuing your Pizza Tower, AU. I take it the crossover thing is the main one that you're stopping, then, G-Star? Yeah, I remember the guy that created Shadow, I think it was, in Sonic Adventure 2, has talked about what he thinks the ending for Shadow's story would have been like. It was like when Sonic 06 was being made, he was asked that question. And if I remember right, he said that Shadow the Hedgehog would probably put himself into sleep at some point after helping to fix the world. And then, like, centuries later, he might be awoken again to help the people of the future type of thing. Yeah. There's so much stuff that they could have done with the Sonic story, but it feels to me like it's just kind of wasted these days under the, like, insistence on keeping it as a recognizable video game series. Like, you could, like, go centuries into the future and do adventures of, like, Eggman Nega and Silver and Blaze and stuff, but no, it's just gonna be Sonic again. And we got the most basic plot ever, because we're too scared to do anything after 06. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, for my series here, this, the comics, they start at, like, the future time period. My original, like, stuff I made up when I was 7 and stuff takes place in the 1990s and 2000s. But, this comic series starts centuries after the adventures that happened back then with the characters that were alive back then. Or I guess I should say the characters that were around back then, since Claw Kid here obviously was part of those adventures. So this is kind of the hero of the old era who is fighting the hero of the current era for these comics. That's kind of what I intended for this match to be. I'd had some of the matches thought up before I started making the tournament comics, but it wasn't, the one that I knew how it was going to end was this final match of Claw Kid versus Doko. I knew going into this whole saga that it would end with them fighting each other. And obviously Doko's friends want him to do this to win the prize money. Doko is just doing it because it's the tournament and he's wanted to compete in it. And Claw Kid is doing this for his own reasons. He does not care about the money or anything. Wow, you really take stuff from all over G-Star with the Neverhood and Pizza Tower. Oh, well, we can do a Quashi versus Pink Elf as a little bonus in some art book or something, handgun. Aquashi will definitely come back later on in the series, though. This serves as sort of these tournaments serve as sort of an introduction to certain characters. I guess it's kind of the introduction of Stacy, but I had always planned for her to show up, like, back when I started the comics. You just never see her until these tournaments. Other than, like, a picture on Doko's fridge or something. I forget where, but I'm pretty sure you can see a picture of her at Doko's house in one of the early comics. Yeah, it is kinda neat to have stuff from our time period finally, like, making an actual appearance with Claw Kid here. I'd been wanting to get to things that relate back to our time period for a while, but you gotta keep the series going at a proper pace. You can't just throw everything in at once. I guess we could say there have been things from our time period so far, but that's only like with Sake and stuff, and you have no idea if you're just reading these comics that she was alive in our time period. Obviously, if you've seen, like, the character sheets and stuff I've put up, she was obviously alive back when we were alive. Okay, well, I will avoid saying that word then, Wiggle Boy. I'm pretty sure I can succeed in that challenge. Yeah, I remember, oh, it's not that word, but the, in Dragon Ball, they always named the people that followed Frieza after items that you would find in the refrigerator. Like, the Ginyu Force is, Ginyu means milk. Jace is juice, Burter is butter. Frieza is supposed to be Freezer, but they didn't name him that. That type of thing. Yeah, Toriyama always had naming schemes that he would do for the characters. Chaozu, I believe, is a type of dumpling. I forget what Ten Shinhan is. Pilaf is obviously Pilaf, which is who I named the first town that Doko goes to in the comics after, Pilaf Town. Which you will see in color when I get to remaking. Well, I have the first few pages of that first comic remade from, like, a few years ago, but I've never gotten the opportunity to really work on it. Damn. The only way you're gonna see that before it gets published is if you're, like, a patron of mine. That is only for the, paying viewers. But you can always see the old garbage version of the first comic on the DeviantArt. I personally wouldn't, but I'm leaving those things up there for history's sake. And I'm also going to, I think in every comic after the first comic I did, I've included a prologue page for, anyone that is new to the series that are looking at the comic, and just if they've never seen a comic before, here's what's happened before, here's what, you need to know going into this issue. The first comic, though, does not have a prologue page, because it was just the first comic. I was just making that to see how making a comic of this series would go. and I just never stopped, so it didn't have a prologue. But when I remake it, I'm going to put in a prologue that's like, it's just, it is like, in a world covered by blah-de-blah, or whatever epic type of sounding thing it would be. And it, like, I think it ends by saying, but one boy or something could hold the key to changing the future, whatever. It's a prologue thing. I'd have to, like, look back at what I wrote, like, a few years ago. But yeah, I intend to include that as, like, the opening for the first comic when I remake it. And when I do, like, publish, like, entire collections of the series, I intend for it to do what the Dragon Ball Tankobons and Kanzenbons do, which is when you line the books up, it makes one long picture along the spine. So it'll, like, have Doko walking, and then you'll have, like, Mech and Tesley in the hover car on the next book's spine, and they're all following Doko, just a parade of characters. I've always intended for that to be the spine art of, like, the series. Sort of as a reference to how Dragon Ball did it, and at the same time because it just looks cool. Oh, you are getting into the cloning territory, G-Star. Let us save this. Hopefully... Okay, yeah, there it goes. It's saved. It's saved. And let us go back over to here to see what other musics I can find. Yeah, this is always a catchy one. Ooh. Oh, wow. That, Secret of Kel's music video I made. I was working on that music video before Mom got here the other week. Now everything's freezing, so this'll take a second. But, yeah, I finished that music video after Mom got here. And now it's got like 443 views. I was not expecting to see that. Come on! Stop freezing, please. Okay, well... Oh, I can't click on that, because... oh, okay, here we go. Okay. Sorry, stream was freezing, so I probably need to check to see if it's still running on here. Okay, there's my voice. Okay, I need to quiet this. Okay, well... Oh, I can't click on that, because... oh, okay, here we go. Oh. Okay, well, get out of that. It seems to be running. I'll assume that it's still running. And then I'll lift this up a bit. Okay, now I can get back to working after the computer decided to start working again. Oh, that was, my voice, Wiggle Boy. I was checking... Uh-oh. Okay, good. I thought it was freezing again. I was checking the video on YouTube to make sure that stream was running still, because it did this thing where it, like, froze, and I couldn't tell if the program, like, the stream had, like, died or something. But we're out of that video now, so everything's a-okay. So what are you guys going to be doing today? I'm just going to be working as per usual, creating everything that I do. I should download VVV at some point. It's always looked like a fun game, but I've never played it. Oh well, I hope you enjoy your Australian park, Wiggle Boy. Australia. The land of parks and dangerous, life-threatening animals. There have been a lot of mysterious disappearances at parks throughout history. People that just go missing there and there's like no explanation that's ever able to be uncovered. Happens a lot at national parks. Well, not a lot, but frequent enough to be suspicious. Ah, this is... bleh. Oh. For some reason I was thinking Australian, Wiggle Boy. Maybe that was talking about the Wiggles. Well, enjoy your American park then, and all the oddities that happen in their depths. Yeah, I just have a trail that I walk along out here to... It, like, goes through all the towns and stuff. Makes it pretty easy to get to certain places. Sometimes would I walk to get to the bookstore out here. Oh, this page is going a bit quicker than I thought it would. Yeah, trying to think of what all comes from Australia now. I know there's a lot of cartoons that come from Canada. Yeah, I always enjoy a good late 2000s indie game. VVV, Cave Story. Although Cave Story isn't really late 2000s. I think EG might be middle 2000s. Knit Stories was always kind of there. And then you got, the Chizo Mythos. The 5 Days a Stranger, 7 Days a Skeptic horror series. Pretty sure that's where, Something Awful got part of the idea to make Slender Man from. Because Cabadath is just like literally Slender Man, but with different features. Oh no, I can see the Lord G-Star. Fake Peppino gave himself middle eyes. I'm just having too much fun listening to the music currently. Now, whenever I hear the word fake for, like, a video game character, the first thing I think of is Fake Crash from Crash Bandicoot. That was always, like, the bizarre thing that you could find in, like, Crash Bandicoot 3, is, like, that fake version of Crash. Doesn't do anything, but you can, like, just find him in a level. I never really go to get fast food, so I never had the Grimace Shake. Although I do remember people going on about it and how it would, like, kill ya. The shake that I always liked was the mint milkshake from Arby's when they would do that. Although if I want a, like, milkshake, I usually don't go to a fast food place for that. Unless it's like Steak and Shake, where it's like, yeah, that's the thing that they do. But usually it's either I make the milkshake or I go to an ice cream place. Which, if anyone ever comes to Ohio, you have to go to Aglamisi's, best ice cream place in the area. They were celebrating their 115th anniversary the other day. And me and Mom went up there, and she got what she'd usually get back when we all used to go there, which is a raspberry hot fudge sundae with mint ice cream. And I got a chocolate raspberry 2 scoops in a waffle cone ice cream. It was nice seeing Mom again after, well, it hadn't been that long since she visited, but that was back when Grandma was alive. Or no, she visited, like, right when Grandma died. And that was, like, at the beginning of the year. She came back for, like, sorting through legal stuff in the aftermath. We went out to the ice cream place, tried a taco place. Oh, we went down to the Newtown Burger place that we always went to. Love that place. Oh, well, congratulations, G-Star. I'm happy you were able to get onto something. Yeah, when things are in development, there's a lot of iffiness that goes on with things that will change throughout it. And there are some things that come out looking completely different than how they start. And if you're wanting business, unfortunately, you do have to go along with those changes and try to accommodate to them. Because a lot of times the company will just basically be like, well, if you don't want to do it, well, I guess don't do it. We'll let you go, type of thing. Blah, blah. Oh, how many hours has it been for the stream, Wiggle Boy? We are now at 1 hour and 10 minutes of doing this. Oh. Well, in that case, I guess there is really no consequence if you decide to leave or anything. Not that you would, just... Yeah, once it gets into the free work stuff, it's a bit more lenient and everything. Yeah, I've been, I've had things where I've been considered for working on a video game art-wise, but I've never actually gotten any like job or employment or freelance or anything for making that stuff. I've only ever just been considered for that stuff, and they usually end up going with someone else. But that's how it goes. It's a wide range of people to choose from when it comes to the freelance aspect. Oh, well, if you need to get off, Wiggle Boy, it's fine. You can get going to wherever you need to go. You are not being held captive by the Edwardian army or anything. There's always plenty of stuff to look at on my channel here. And I do stream frequently enough that I'm sure you'd pop back up. But if you're staying, enjoy the time that you are here. Yeah, we all go through our droughts of creating G-Star. And it's sort of a natural break that the body eventually decides to take. As long as you still got that creative spark in you, though, you get back into it eventually. For me, I rarely ever take time off of creating, because I just force myself to do it regardless of if I should be doing it or not. Let's see here. Oh, there's the Amphibia music video I did. That has 11,000 views. I think the Amphibia video I did got really popular really quick, because I, released it the day after Amphibia ended, so everyone was still, looking up things for it. That just happened to fall into that time frame. I don't care about this ad. Ooh, Mario meets VVV. Okay, come on. Get on with it. Alright. This should be another track from that indie game I was listening to. Or it's going to freeze up and... Okay, it's going. Okay, it's freezing. Okay, it's going. I need to click off of that window I need to remember to do that, because if I stay on a video window, it will slow down my other programs on here. Yeah, I think you just need to relax a bit, G-Star. Slow it down. It'll come naturally as it needs to. May just be a bit overworked on the mentality of it all. Yeah, creators naturally end up creating eventually. I did have a idea for like a game series that would deal with creators. It would have like different worlds that you would go to that are each in a different style depending on what creator created that world. It would sort of treat the people in our world that have that were creators go on to be creators of new universes after they die. And that's sort of the implication of where everything in that series would come from. It's all the universes that the creators of the previous universe create. And then there'd be like destroyers, which are creators that have gone to using their powers for destruction to ruin others' creations and putting worlds in jeopardy and everything. It'd be a massive project, though. It'd be like getting all sorts of creators from across like DeviantArt and Twitter and stuff to each make their own worlds and everything. It'd be sort of a collaborative project of the community is preferably what it'd be. It probably wouldn't end up happening, but that was always something I would like to create. Yeah, Marvel, Disney, big name corporations. I've not been as much of a follower of the Marvel. Well, I keep up to date on some things in Marvel, but not as much now as I used to. Oh, that song's done. Oh, now it's starting up again. Oh, now my pain area is acting up. Let's see here. Did that.
It's opening night.
I don't care that it's opening night. I want you to shut up, Mr. Ad. Yeah, I guess this'll be decent enough background music. I did not mean to close that down. Let's open this back up. There we go. Okay. Back to work. Ugh. Ouch. 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 Oh. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let's do this. And, per request, we will be listening to Tropical Crust. And I will be getting back to work on Doko here. Hopefully this is not a copyrighted tune, otherwise this part of the video will be blocked afterwards. Although I kind of doubt that it's copyrighted. Or that it will get me in trouble, I mean to say. I know I've had copyrighted music playing on here before, but certain tracks get the videos blocked and others don't. Yeah, I'd imagine that you would be of the P rank G-Star. It would fit alongside your Pizza Tower love. I'm not sure where everyone would fall on that tier list. I've been friends with Masasa the longest, or she goes by God Pretzel now on the Discord for some reason. She was friends with me before I even started these comics, so like, for over, probably more like 15 years or something. Oh, well, we can give you an S rank wiggle. Usually have to work a bit to earn that, but I think we can squeeze you in there. Hey, G-Star's dog, trouble! Oh, well, that's good. I will keep that in mind, Handgun. That would cause a bit of trouble for video game players if, like, all the music in their games got their video games, like, footage blocked on YouTube. There was a few songs that I was wondering if I'd have issues with back when I made the Dragon Ball video. But even with all the copyright and stuff, it still let me play everything, so the video still turned out alright. Oh, you are just about adequate there, Handgun. I'd say Shadow the Cartoonist is probably S rank. I feel some obligation to put him up there with the whole being a patron situation for him. Oh. Well, I'm guessing you took this to the park with you, then. For some reason, I always think of people as listening to, like, videos on their computers, because that's just what I always knew as being the internet device when I was younger. And when people say, like, oh, I listened to it while I was out, it's like, after a second of thinking about it, I realized they mean, like, they're on their phones listening to it, but my initial reaction is always picturing them taking a giant heavy computer with them outside to listen to the videos. Oh, well, that's cute. It's nice that they have fun with the Pizza Tower visuals. Yeah, when I first saw Pizza Tower, it kinda made me think of Earthworm Jim with the attention to animation that it was giving. Yeah, when I first started using computers, schools would always, have the game Frogger on them, like the 3D version that was on the PlayStation 1. That was, like, my favorite computer game when I'd be at school. When I was at home, my favorite computer game to play was Lego Island and Lego Loco. And I could play those all day long. And then once you got on the internet, like, the Madanui online game on Bionicle.com was, like, the greatest internet video game ever. That was such an adventure. And then you got all the Cartoon Network Flash games and everything. I'd always play the Cartoon Network Summer Resort. I always wish they'd made a sequel to it or continued it in some fashion. Oh, well, if we are talking legitimacy, G-Star, let's hop on over to a different music track then. Let's see here. No, not that. That's not that. No, 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 no. Oh, Lego Island commercial. Let's see, can I do this? I guess I will, let's see here. Let us switch over to here. Here we go. Yeah, this is it.
Pickle brain. Monkey breath. Mom can't say anything because I'm not touching two fish.
What if you could change anything you wanted?
I love you, little bro.
You can in Lego Island, the new CD-ROM game. It's an entire Lego world where you chase Lego
wow.
villain, build and race Lego vehicles.
That was
and
the
change
Brickster.
everything from the landscape to people's attitudes.
You're the coolest brother.
Even the music. The new Lego Island CD-ROM game.
Oh, there.
Lego Island CD-ROM game comes with everything shown here. Island CD-ROM game.
That. I was able to get out of the border of the world by writing on this thing. Like, I found this spot that's like an invisible wall is around the whole area. But I was like, I eventually found where you could break through it by pressing against it at a certain point. And eventually I was able to break out and guide myself off the map and everything.
Lego Island CD-ROM game comes with everything shown here.
Oh, there was...
Lego...
Yeah, this box, it came with like a comic in it that was like a prequel. I think that's what that is right there. And it like shows, it talks about Pepper's dad being lost at sea, and that's why he's an orphan and stuff, and how the Brickster and the Infomaniac were friends in old times before everyone else was created and stuff. And yeah, that was a game I always played. Okay, let's get back to work. Sorry, Doko. Let's move you on down here. There we go. And let us click on this. There we go. This should do. Oh, well, I hope you have a good day, Wiggle Boy. Enjoy your park adventures and whatnot. And, if you ever want to see my stuff, it's always here on my channel. And I was born in 1990, right on the decade. Yeah, Lego Island, that was always such a magical game to me. Sayonara for now, Wiggle. Lego Island, it just had so much to it. It wasn't really a game, but there was just like so much life to it. Yeah, this is, I think this is the hospital in Lego Island. It's not in the hospital, I don't think. It might be. But I remember this tune would always play near the hospital. It's like there were certain areas... Oh, I'd forgotten about this part of the song. Oh, wow. Your magical game was the Spyro game that most people disown the series for. My favorite Spyro game was probably the first one, actually. It's the one I played the most. It felt like... I know 2 has more of a world to it and stuff, but 1 just has such a cool video game magic feel to me. I'd love to play Lego Island. I'm sure they've got a way to play it on modern systems. Just gotta know where to look for ROMs and ways to emulate it properly. I know it was difficult to get it running on later computers, though. It kinda sucks, all the games that just get lost with the transition of technology. Because you would think that every video game would be able to be played on, like, the latest type of thing. But there's so many that just get, like, just thrown out because they're incompatible now. And I remember on Lego Island, the 2 nurses at the hospital are Return and Enter. That was always hilarious to me. Yeah, Lego Island is like that little small town that you just have the idealistic vision of. And yeah, and have some weird haunted pirate cave for some reason. I've got a few emulation things on this computer. I haven't gotten into seeing about old computer games, though. Yeah, the games I'd play at school the most would be Frogger for the computer/PlayStation 1. Obviously, the Oregon Trail. I think Clue Finders was what it was called. It was like point-and-click adventure games with like this team of kid detectives. And they just go on these really strange adventures that would like be terrifying in real life. It'd always be like you solve math problems and stuff. There was Zoombinis, I remember that. And if I could have gotten it, the Windows 95 version of Earthworm Jim, I'd have played that all the time. Best version ever of the game. I played it once, but I'm not sure where or how. I just remember playing that version of the game. And for as similar as they are, it is better than the Sega CD version to me. Oh, well, that's cool. It's always interesting to go through the files of the games. There's a lot of stuff that gets left over from beta versions and everything. Resident Evil has a lot of that type of stuff. If I remember right, Resident Evil 3, the original version, it was not created as Resident Evil 3. It was originally Resident Evil, or Biohazard, which is what it's called in Japanese. It was called Biohazard 1.9-2.7, I think, was the title. And in 3's files, if you go through them, you can still find files that are titled 1.9 instead of 3. It was like the name change was really late in development. Yeah, Zoombinis was always a wonderful time. Zoombinis! Pizza. I saw the Roller Coaster Tycoon games, but I never actually played one. I played quite a bit of Sim City with my brother on, like, the Super Nintendo version on the Wii. We would always, what we always did was we pretended our toys and stuffed animals were alive, and, like, our house was a planet to them, and the streets outside were outer space and stuff. And we would use the Sim City game to make, like, an idea for the map of their society and kind of where they would live and stuff. Yeah, my first stuffed animal ever, and my brother's main stuffed animal. Mine was Raggles, a dog, and his was a monkey called Climb. They were the kings of Toy Town. They had arcades and stuff in their castle and would just ignore all the political issues going on and stuff. We kind of interconnected the toy stuffed animal stuff all over, like their story all over the games that we would play, all the multiplayer matches and everything. Yeah, Lego Island always had pretty soothing music to it. Whoa! That's not what I wanted to do. Super zoom into the hair there. Oh, that's cool. The closest thing we had to gods for our toys was, me, my brother, and my mom and dad. We were the great ones, is what the toys would call us. I remember my brother came up with, like, an enemy. Can't remember what it is right now, though. The space pirates, there were these toys called Z-Bots, and we made up that they were like space pirates that would try to plunder from the planet and everything. And eventually those space pirates would be used in the world of the universe my comics take place in. And like Angel Amy and Jake Diabolical, which are the first Diabolic Angel duo in the 1990s and 2000s. Amy was a space pirate, and the enemy space pirates were led by Outlaw Patch, and his sons, Eye Patch and Two Guns, were two of the space pirates, like two of the Z-Bots that we used as space pirates in the toy stuff. Oh, well, that'd be cool. I do wish you the best of luck on your plush tuber endeavors, G-Star. I would love to be an animated cartoon tuber, but I have no real way of doing that to get all the animation frames matched up how I would want them to be in real time to my voice. But just imagine a little Edward on the side talking as I work. That would be so neat. Just... Hey everybody! Edward18 here, blah-de-blah, blah-de-blah. Welcome back, we are going to be doodling whatever today. I'm as big as Iron Mouse. I will take over the world and control all the economic supplies. Just keep watching me and we can make it there. Yeah, someday. Someday. I mean, I've been on, like, well, not just YouTube, just the internet in general, longer than a lot of people these days. Like, I've seen everything come and go. And I feel that I'm kind of surprised that not... I've seen people pop up that know my stuff. But with how long I've been here, it feels kinda like... I guess I should have more people that know about all the stuff I make? But it's whatever. It's just... I don't usually think about that stuff, it's just when I do, it's like, well, PewDiePie's been on here, like, for a shorter time than I have. So, I guess I'm kinda just this old guy that floats around, just experiencing and documenting everything. Oh, it's always sad to see people get rid of all the stuff they've created. That's what I aim to try to keep from happening as much with all the stuff that I try to save to my hard drives. Yeah, some people, they just up and leave and take everything with them. All those videos and art and everything to be lost to time. Always sad to see happen for me. Well, that's always... I'm somebody that I rarely get rid of any of the stuff I create. Like, good and bad. It's like, people enjoyed this. I know at least someone liked this thing, so who am I to take it from them? That type of mentality. And it's just a matter of, like, preserving the history of it. It's like, yeah, I could get rid of this, but that doesn't change that it happened. It's something I made. It is a part of me and what I became. So yeah, it's got its place. Oh, so... Starry is one that got rid of things they probably found embarrassing or something. And my main one with that is, well, I guess Filthy Frank has done that a bit, which is annoying, but he still has most of his stuff up from what I've seen. But, Petronius, I miss his old videos. He's got videos now that they're fine, they're reviews, but they're nowhere near as lively as his older videos that he's like, they're still up, but they're private, so no one can see them. And I know it's probably that it's like he's either embarrassed or feels it doesn't fit how the videos are now, but I wanna see those videos. So, it's just kind of this annoying itch, is what it is. I've privated a few of my videos, but most of the ones are still up, I think. There's some really embarrassing Let's Play moments for me in the older days, like probably about 13 or 15 years ago. I've privated those videos, but most of the Let's Plays, I think, are still up. I used to well, I still don't care for my voice, but I used to, like, not be able to stand it, and that was one thing that usually kept me from creating videos. But eventually, after hearing it for so long in video editing, it's just like, okay, fine, this is what I sound like. Alright, I have no choice but to live with this, so I'll use it. And then it's just enough of using the voice and listening to it, and it just becomes, yeah, there it is. It's normal now, kind of. I'd prefer to have it different, but I don't have a choice in that matter. Nope, nope, not that, not that. Get off that, nope. Let's see here. What's this? Yeah, we can listen to this track. For me, for my video creating, obviously, you guys have all seen my videos, so you know that I like to animate myself when I'm talking. But that takes forever, which is why a lot of my videos do not get made all that fast. But it just adds so much more to the videos, makes it so much more alive feeling. And with animating, I can make myself do whatever I want, as opposed to just standing and talking in front of a camera. This is gonna be bad. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. I did not want a black screen. And now I've got my tablet wet. Okay, that was easy to wipe up. I've wanted to animate, like, scenes of Doko and his friends before, but I don't really have voice actors to, like, voice anything. I have thought of doing, like, just animations where they don't talk, but it would be nice to have voice actors, but I don't have money to hire people, so I would have to, like, voice everybody. I'd have to keep switching it, like, I could talk like this for Doko, and maybe like this for Tesley, in just utter garbage. So, I wouldn't do that. Alright. We have people on the Discord that could probably help out voice-wise. Although, I have something I should be doing for Shadow already, animation-wise. Although he hasn't gotten to me with the resources yet, so that's still to be determined, really. And if anyone else would like an animation for them, be sure to contact me about a commission. Well, I appreciate the offers, everybody. If I ever do make any animated scenes of the comic stuff, I will be sure to inquire about voice work. I know once certain series get, like, really big, they always go for more well-known voice actors and stuff. I've never liked that. It's like, you have, like, David Hayter is Snake. And it's like changing that is just wrong to me, no matter how big of a voice actor you get for the character. If you've had someone doing the character forever, they are that character. No matter how much more popular of a person you could get to fill their shoes. Well, these are technically cartoon characters, G-Star. Yeah, preferably you'd want everyone in a recording booth together to see how they all voice act with each other, so that it's not all disjointed in the recordings and they work off of each other. But that would be kind of impossible with the Discord internet online thing going on. Yeah. Most voice acting I ever did was for those Mega Man Zero Let's Plays. Dr. Weil, I pretty much just voiced how I always imagined him sounding. And then his actual voice actor is Dr. Eggman's Japanese voice actor. El Paizo had sort of a James type of vibe going on to him from Pokemon. Yeah, got angry Doko here. Doko has been a lot angrier in this comic than possibly the entire series so far, expression-wise. Emotionally, I don't know how angry he is, but he's been making a lot of angry faces for this fight. Certainly getting a bit frustrated against this type of an opponent. Well, if I ever do any voiced animation stuff, I will be sure to let you guys know. There is nothing planned yet, though, so I wouldn't say get your microphones ready just yet. If ever, for this stuff. You may be waiting a bit before you see Evil Doko Handgun. That doesn't come for a while. I guess it is kind of strange to have certain plot elements that have already been spoiled for the audience through, like, concept art and stuff. But at the same time, not every, nowhere near all the spoilers are known about by you guys, so it's like this balancing act of what should and should not be revealed to the audience at times. Oh, Wiggler Wednesday on Party Crashers. No idea what that is. Come on, skip the ads. There we go. Oh, it's this song. No, no. Well, I appreciate the idea, G-Star, but I'm pretty sure that my art style is already sort of crafted at this point. I don't think viewing anyone's... Oh, unless you're talking to Handgun there. But for me, I don't think really anyone else's art style is going to, like, help me along much at this point. It's sort of evolved into its own thing by now. Oh, I did not know Wiggler Wednesday was a thing. Yeah, no, I was just seeing, Party Crashers put up a video called Wiggler Wednesday, which looked like it was one of them was playing Wiggler in Mario Kart was the thing. Oh, well, I do appreciate the offer, G-Star, but I pretty much designing my own things. It's, that's how I've always intended to do it. No offense, but it is my project. Although, there are times where I have had people's, designs pop up in the background in, like, crowd scenes and stuff. What the? Oh. That was the phones going off. Okay. I'll have to check what that is later. But no, I appreciate the offer, but the most I would say is maybe at some point there will be a character that you design that could pop up in a crowd or something. However, you're always free to do fan art and fan fiction. That is, that's something I have... That's an issue I've always had with, like, people that try to stop certain types of fan art and fan fiction. Like, there are things that are, like, frowned upon when it comes to what can and cannot be created, and this goes against the creator's wishes and all that stuff. I have never been okay with that. It's just, this is fan art, this is fan fiction. They can do whatever they want. So, anything you guys ever want to make of my stuff, it will not be canon, but I will not try to stop anybody. You can make the most deplorable stuff you want of my things, and I will go, okay, that exists. Oh, well, what is Larvene about? Or Larvine. I assume it is Larvene. Yeah, I've made a whole fanfic before with that whole just being angry at the people that try to stop stories of certain types from being created, or fan arts of certain types from being created. It's got material that would probably not be socially acceptable that it was me just being angry at people that try to stop creation, no matter what the content is. Well, I do have a number of your pieces that you have made of my stuffed handgun saved into a folder. They are being preserved currently. Yeah, when it comes to fan things, as long as the fan stuff is not making money, anything should be allowed to be created in my eyes. Be it horrible, good, better than the creator, whatever. Part of why I can't stand how Nintendo acts for certain things. All the fan projects that they shut down. For as much of a family-friendly reputation as they like to portray, the business practices Nintendo has displayed over the decades has been pretty sickening to me. I remember back when the court cases were happening about, like, Mortal Kombat and Night Trap and stuff, and the parental groups were doing their ridiculous thing of going after the video game companies. And, Nintendo and Sega were both in the courtroom together for the hearing. It's where they decided on making the ESRB to manage the age rating system. And the parental groups were going on about them, about how they were allowing Mortal Kombat and stuff on video game systems, and how it's not right for kids to see and everything, that type of thing. And Nintendo was going, but we took out the blood. Sega is the one that left the blood in Mortal Kombat. And it's like, first off, why the hell would you play Mortal Kombat without the blood? And secondly, it's like the whole court case was Nintendo trying to throw the blame on Sega. They had shown the parental groups videos of the Sega versions of the games before the court case and everything. But in the end, the judge determined that both companies were at fault and they needed to make a more proper rating system, which resulted in the ESRB. But yeah, Nintendo has always been a company I have had issues with when it comes to their legal garbage. That was a bit of a recollection I just had. If you want, G-Star, you can show the character over on the Discord. Alright, I have some bread over here I can bite. Very stale. This has since lost its appeal, taste-wise, or texture-wise, I should say. But it's food. Let us switch up the music again. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-boom. Here we go. E.G. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, perfect hard rock to do some art to. Actually, let's raise the opacity. Then get rid of it so we can actually work on the blacks proper. Filling them in. Oh. There we go. Oh. Well, it's always nice to see what the creator comes up with in redesigns. I remember yeah, Earthworm Jim's redesign Doug had done for, like, the PSP game. I never cared for that design. Made it way too simplistic looking. I think the biggest, most jarring changes in terms of redesigns were in Batman the Animated Series when I was younger, when it came back after, like, it changed networks and all the characters looked like... Not all of them were completely different, but every one of them was different in some way. The Joker was the most obvious one. Yeah, I do not intend to redesign Doko at all. Unless it goes through, like, a time jump type of thing, where you have to redesign the characters for the age. If I remember right, this plays in level 2 of EG, this music. I think that's where you start to find out what has happened to the world. It's always kind of surprising and odd to me how that indie game, a free indie game, had this type of a soundtrack to it. And then it just repeats ad nauseum. I am kinda surprised with the stuff that Resident Evil deals with, that it's never had, like, a game that's a full-on apocalypse scenario. Although that's part of why I like it, is that it never gets to that point. So once you get into the apocalypse stuff, it's like, what even is the point? Everyone's gonna be dead either way in the end. Yeah, I think the closest that series ever came to, like, a full-on apocalypse were probably Code Veronica. If the plans that the villains had were never stopped, it'd probably be Code Veronica, Resident Evil 5, and Resident Evil 6. Those would have probably had the most end-of-the-world type of endings to them. Although there is a, I think, card game, Clan Master, for that series that's like the far future in like futuristic cities and stuff, where it's like the basilisk virus and everything. It's always an interesting thing to look at, but it's kind of dampened by the fact that it's just all these cartoony versions of everything. It's not really a serious thing at all. Oh, well, you have a good day there, Handgun. I'm sure I will see you later. I should probably be getting finished up with the editing here in a little bit. All I really have left here is just filling in these white lines in the black areas I'm editing. And then I should be done, I think. Hopefully the stream has been going alright for everybody. Ba-dum. Let's look up this. Not that. Not that. How's about... Okay. Okay. Is this good? Here we go! This is what I was looking for. Got a nice little Earthworm Jim track going. Yeah, you can always count on Jim for the hits when it comes to the music department. Yeah, this is the special edition version of Lorenzo Soil. I always say Lorenzens for some reason. Arguably the most beautiful song in Earthworm Jim 2. Yeah, I always call the Saturn PlayStation 1 version of 2 the special edition version, because when you put the Saturn version in a CD player, it calls it Earthworm Jim 2 Special Edition. I used to listen to the soundtrack so often on the CD player when I would draw. Oh, well, I am happy to be an inspiration. I think how I got to where I'm drawing like is growing up watching things like Astro Boy and Dragon Ball and stuff and classic Looney Tunes. Just getting a feel for the physics and how things are constructed when it comes to animation and movement and how weight affects objects and everything. It's all basically an over-exaggeration of how features are in real life. Everyone all evolves with their own style, though. It's a process that is never-ending. Yeah, a lot of stuff all goes back to things like Chuck Jones and Bob Clampett. Then there was Disney. Disney's always been really basic to me, but it's like really quality, but it's basic a lot. And it's like a good building block. It gets you figuring out the essentials. And from that, you had things like Tezuka starting up the anime manga scene, mostly in Japan. And then Fleischer Brothers and stuff challenging Disney in America. And then all the stuff after that. Tex Avery leaving from Disney, applying everything he figured out into creating the generation for Looney Tunes and stuff. Yeah, a lot of it links back to the early 1900s endeavors. And it's just kept going since then. Then you got comic influences like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and all that. Jack Kirby and Akira Toriyama, the early, like 1984 to 1986-ish probably for Toriyama's Dragon Ball, were probably a lot of what influenced me when it came to the movement and action in my stuff. That and Jack Kirby's action in the early Marvel things he did. This is such a nice, peaceful track to work to. Yeah, this is going a lot quicker than I thought it would, which is always a nice surprise for me. Let's see. Okay, we can trim this up a bit. There we go. Yeah, just working. Working all day. Took a drink of water there. Stay hydrated, everybody. You don't want to wither into a skeleton. There are some pretty skinny people out there. Some of them can get scarily skeletal. Yeah, these buttons that are on Claw Kid here always kind of make me think of the button objects on the bottom, the tips of Eggman's battle jacket thing he wears. Not really sure what you call it, like a bomber jacket type thing. Eggman's always got like an air of royal military type feel to him. Especially in the beyond the Sega Genesis titles. What I always liked was in like the Neo Geo Pocket game of Sonic, they start Eggman out in his classic outfit, but in the final fight, he switches over to his modern outfit. So I always, when I was younger, thought that that game was meant to take place between the old Sega Genesis Mega Drive games and the Sonic Adventure games to serve as like a transition into the later time period. Really, it's just making a handheld game that is taking things from the classic games and just cramming it into one handheld experience. Oh right, I forgot I was gonna make the background of this whole panel black. I'll have to fix that. I did hear that... Is it HBO Max? I think it's HBO Max is deciding to not put any of their animated movies into theaters from now on. They do not want to take the risk of making something that they don't think people might be interested in seeing. The horrible corporate attitude. Oh, I missed out on making these black here. You always gotta make sure you double check things when you're editing. Sometimes triple check or quadruple check. Yeah, we can get that a bit more straight here. Yeah, that'll do. Let's see. Okay. He's good there. Okay. Then after this, I think I just need to blacken up that panel background that I was at. I had forgotten to do the panel as black. Well, G-Star, if you were ever to appear in the comics, what would you like to be drawn looking like? Not saying that that will ever happen, just out of curiosity's sake. I do remember in the first tournament in Dragon Ball, Toriyama drew his tour guide, who, like, showed him the island that he had based the tournament island on. He, like, drew him in one of the scenes. Oh. That must have been some time ago for Larvin. Oh. Well, we shall see about that. I've actually had the ending of my comics planned out for years now. It's just gonna take forever to get to there. Okay, lower the opacity so that I can actually see where the black line is. Don't want to just be drawing and have it misaligned because I can't tell where the line is that I'm drawing. And just do these quick sketch lines here. Yeah, I pretty much came up with what was originally the ending for this series back in high school, like 15 years ago. And since then, I have come up with other stories that happen after that point. But I do have the full ending for the, like, what is now the end of the series planned out. Oh, well, that is quite a drastic change there, G-Star. You don't normally go from a dragon to a ninja. How I wish I could do just straight lines. I can do straight lines, but only at certain angles, which is why I prefer working in the sketchbook when it comes to physically what I can draw, because I can maneuver the page around with my hands to get it at different angles. Okay, get rid of that. Nope, not that. This. We're going Earthworm Jim, we may as well go with the one that everybody loves. I actually had the I had ideas for making a 2D version of Earthworm Jim 3D, which I would just call Earthworm Jim 3 years ago. And this track would play during the final fight. The story would be a bit different for Earthworm Jim 3. It'd have elements from Earthworm Jim 3D, but I planned for it to have, like, an actual good, or just, like, not as bad story to it. In the final battle, Earthworm Kim would be revealed to be the queen trying to get resurrected and acquire the suit in the process by being, like, growing out of Earthworm Kim and getting that version of the suit and everything. And all the mental stuff that would be happening with Jim would start affecting the outside world, and all the areas would be like areas from his mind that had warped parts of the real world into them. During this, like, guitar part, it would be like showing the characters down below as Jim's fighting the queen who's been resurrected in, like, this land in the sky and stuff. Yeah, speaking of fanfics, I have so many ideas for everything that I've, like, watched over the years. Very rarely do I ever make actual stories of them, but I never forget the stories that I make up for them, no matter how amazing or cringeworthy they might be. My mind is always creating. Trying to remember, I think that there was a character called Tapeworm Slim from the PSP game of Earthworm Jim, but I can't remember right now if that's correct or if that's just a fan character. Ah, you are adopting traits from one story into another. That's happened with me before. There were things that I had made up for the mega crossover of Awesome comic I used to do that I never got to, so they never got to be shown. And I ended up incorporating things of Transformer things I made up for it into my own little Transformer universe I started making later on. Okay, I think this is all connected now. So, Bill and Phil. And then we zoom. And then we draw. I'm sure there's a better way to edit these pages, but I've never been able to figure it out. It's not really a class on how to do that, I just had to kinda figure it out as I went. some things have changed in the editing process over the years as I've found easier ways to do things, but there's no official way to do it. It's always just seeing what works, sticking with that, and then you sometimes find something else that works better and go with that for a while. I have the brightness contrast, like the settings for that saved onto the other computer to get all the pages looking the same when it comes to the brightness and contrast. Because when you scan it into the computer on my scanner, it's like grayish and everything, and has to have that edited so that it actually looks correct. Okay. I think we got everything there. Let's see. Zoom out. Check over these. Check that, check that. Okay. Alright. There we go. And let us see. Raise the opacity. And there we go. Pretty sure I got everything I needed to there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that looks alright. Yep. No, I think that's gonna probably do it there. I need to do a few more editing things, but that's stuff to be done off screen. It's not stuff that operates as well when I'm on screen. So I guess I'll probably be ending this then? This is kind of an abrupt ending. I guess thanks everyone for coming and watching. I do wish everyone the best in their alternate universe undertakings and all the whatevers else you get up to tonight. Let me see something here. Okay, that's working. Yeah, I guess this is it for now. I'm still gonna work on this page for a bit before I put it up, because there's still some things that need to be touched up, like getting that behind the hair white, and these panels back here, trying to get them more properly colored and stuff. Things that I didn't get all the way with the paintbrush on the watercolor aspect of it. But I will try to rectify things in the computer here. Let's see. Okay, we got that. Okay. Yeah, I think this is probably gonna be it. But, thank you all for coming and watching. It's been a joy to have you here. And I am happy that I have not gone on for so long that I am starving, like in certain other videos I've done. This has been edward18, working on page 68 of Heroes and Legends. I guess stop on by to the DeviantArt later on tonight to see this page when it's up. As always, I am Warahi over there. warahi.deviantart.com/gallery if you want to be specific. There's also the Discord, which will be in the description if anyone wants to hang out and show their artwork and interact with the others of the Edwardian army, or whatever you want to call the people on there. But, yep, this has been Edward18, and I am signing off. See you in the next one, everybody. Have a good night.